in! I can't get the corned beef open!
Liza, Tarbuck, BBC Radio 2.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome along. 2 hours of filtered jibber-jabber, set to music, carefully curated to get you right at it. Whatever that means, whatever that might mean. So, texty errors, misused words, conversing with inanimate objects, excuse me, random celebs turning up in your dreams. I am still chasing Dale Winton making chips in someone's kitchen about 4 years ago. I am still looking for that. Menopausal madness. Maybe you had a magnet in. I don't quite know how I missed them. They missed me. Anyway, maybe menopausal madness magnets. Madness Magnuson. I've started, so I'll finish. If you feel like including your 1950s underground criminal name tonight, do feel free. You might want to ask your best girlie there, your best boy. You might want to ask whoever you pigging well like, what would my name be? Road dogs, mohos and caravans, where are you? Notorious previous owners of your home. Maybe you didn't find out till you looked at the deeds. It's like, oh, I knew that bloke. You know, it doesn't have to be something awful. It could be something like, oh, that's the guy that invented cat's eyes. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Have you had to apologise on behalf of a pet this week? Tell me, post-lockdown, have any personal standards slipped? I mean, maybe you've become a very sloppy eater. Maybe you prefer to eat on your own now and you're never going out again. And maybe you think that nobody's noticed. Top Bird Trumpingtons of costumes or fancy dress that were looking back ridiculous or sensational, I don't know. Tenuous links to a famous, words that have delighted you, and all outside work that's led to some maddest satisfaction. If you're planning to skate, you might want to start thinking about what you're going to wear, but you're up against it tonight because one of the archangels is dropping me off. Yeah. Michael? Yeah. He's going to be helping me out, which is very kind of him. Things dropping on you out of nowhere. Or maybe you've had a series of signs, portents, that have made you commit to a new situation that, I'm going to do it. Oh, look, that's the sixth, whatever. As per, if you have found something most amusing, then the chances are the gang will, and I'd certainly love to hear about it. And what in the name of all independent sovereign beings are you cooking this evening? 88291 liza.t@bbc.co.uk hashtag Liza Tarbuck Radio. If you are after what they call a memorable hook, try this on. Great track, that. You can't fight it. So, as a proper texter, I'm after social references that you've made recently that have given your age away. I mean, I say age like it's a bad thing, that you've just been met with a blank look. But I guess it's like still calling Snickers marathons, isn't it? Get over it. Look, they've just changed. But you know what I mean. I was referencing Nicky Lauder when everybody else was going far younger. I loved it that Ryland said, who did he say? I want to say Graham Hill, but he meant Graham's son. Can't remember, see? Doing it again right there. Tracy and Paul, hi! So excited of Shropshire here, Lees. Sitting on a bar stool in the new outdoor bar. It was like one of those makeover shows in the end. Racing to the finish to have the first pint in the sun. Barbecues on the go. Great to have you all in the bar tonight. Thanks, Trace. Thanks, Paul. Well done. And now listen to this. I know you like things that are a little bit spooky. This is Tim Lyon. Some years ago, I was agonising over whether to adopt a rescue dog already called Baxter. I was pondering on this. What were you worried about? Just the commitment? I understand it, because before I got Ringo, I had my eye on a lovely old rescue called Audrey. Yeah, I know. It was the name, I think, that was attracting me. I've had several good Audreys in my life. Anyway, could you stop diverting the water and get back to Tim Lyon?
I know you can hear me, Pauline.
Right, I was pondering on whether I was going to get in whilst walking across a supermarché car park. Saw from Sam. Stay focused. When a seagull swooped towards me and dropped something which landed at my feet. And I thought, oh, that's a crust of bread, isn't it? But when I looked closer, I realised it was a small plastic dog. The next day, I was walking at Red Rocks. You know that rave I went to when I was on Rylands a minute ago, talking about losing parts of my body? That was at Red Rocks. So that's a sign for me. Do I need to come up and meet Baxter? Anyway, the next day I was walking at Red Rocks, Hoylake, Leisure Peninsula, Natch. And there on the sand in front of me was a plastic letter B. I can take a hint, Liza, so we adopted Baxter, haven't regretted it once in well, I bet you have once. In 5 years. I love that. See, that isn't coincidence. This is just you being nudged in a superb way. Oh, I tell you what, we've got some interesting stuff already. Evening, everybody. Green-crested woodpecker. Just saying. That's Darrow and Sue of Dale, West Wales. Kazza of Lancs says, I dreamt that I won a day out with Jeremy Clarkson and took him supermarket shopping. He wasn't best pleased. I don't know what kind of shopping he'd like, except if it was, I don't know, like going to a spy shop. I mean, if he's living life as a farmer, he might have to have got used to animal feed or timber yards. That sort of thing thrills me. So Tara says to me, well, I'm quite shocked, actually, that you've just mentioned the Archangel Michael at the beginning of the programme, because this morning my, brackets, gorgeous, husband Paul said he was randomly visited in his dream by a multi-dimensional being that he thought might be the Archangel Michael. Electric blue. Synchronicity, yeah, absolutely. There is no coincidence. We are all operating in the same, I want to say filthy merry-go-round, but of course filthy implies it's awful, and I like it. And not merry-go-round, it's a brightly coloured carousel. My gorgeous partner Charlie and I, this is Stuart of Wandsworth, will be synchronised skating in his Magnolia chiffon sparkling one-pieces. Oh, I wonder if you're doing a little cloak thing out of the neckline, or is that just me dreaming and over-egging the pudding? Because it is obviously it's your night, lads. Furious. Love to absolutely everybody. We're going to drown ourselves in a few gallons of rosé, and then after you, we're going to let loose Craig Charles. You're going to give that plenty. Actually, you can, although I'm going to be honest with you, tonight, I don't mean to show off, but I've got some first-class funk. Oh, good to the very last drop. Thanks, Mr. David Bowie. I mean, obviously, that's a song that made way for Bowie's post-Ziggy Stardust persona, but let's not go there, because books have been written. I keep banging these chairs. There we go. 3 years ago... Oh, no, hang on, I'll save that one for the end of that. I'll save that because it's good. Paul has very kindly got in touch and sends everybody his very best. I always get mocked by my children, aged 36 and 32, when they ask if I've watched a fabulous programme that they've seen on one of many witchcraft-inspired devices that they own, and I innocently say, oh, it's okay, I've taped it. See, it's not that long ago that we had videotapes, whereas now it just looks like clunky waste of space devices, doesn't it? Oh, it's okay, I'll watch it later because I've taped it. He's having Chinese for tea tonight, and that is as cosmopolitan as he's going to get. I don't know what he's ordered, but I'd like to. We own a flat that was once owned by Johnny Walker Whiskey Dynasty, as opposed to the Radio 2 broadcaster and Dordogne. Doyen, I think is what you need, but I like saying Dordogne. We have Sir Alexander Walker's, brackets Johnny's great-grandson, on our previous title deeds. This is Rod and Babs. They're in Ayrshire. Don't do it. Scotland. But they send everyone their best because they're that kind of brace. They're that kind of duo. So Nigel says, do you know what he's having for his dinner? Just lasagna and salad. I'd murder that now. I'd need to put on... Actually, I really would eat it badly as well. Really, I'd have to face away from the fish tank so they couldn't see me and really chow down. Like that. Awful. Be like eating with my mouth open. They're all frisky out there. Anyway, 3 years ago, I took my dog for our normal walk in the woods near my home in Wiltshire. Good use of the word normal there. So we've taken the dog out, it's just going to be a normal walk. And in these woods, you very rarely see anyone, except this day there was just a lone lady dog walker walking towards me. And she got to about 5 metres away, and a kangaroo ran across the path in full view of both of us. Couldn't believe it. So she asked for my phone number so that her husband could call me to ensure that she'd actually seen it. Now, that is a bit of genius. That is really good planning, and not just had too much lady petrol. So we changed numbers and exchanged numbers, and it ran back again. Turns out several people have seen this fruit, and it's a wallaby, not a kangaroo. Lives very happily in the woods. Who'd have thunk it? Thank you very much for the information. I'd have thought it was a really big mouse. It's a lovely French bit at the end, though, isn't it? Because, of course, it's from Le Grill by Georges Bach. In Woolacombe in the 1980s, my mum sellotaped cockle shells around my neck, 2 scallop shells onto my chest, and wrapped my legs quite tightly in green crepe paper. There's no name on this, just so you know. She told me that I would have got first prize if I'd not looked so miserable. I got second prize, Liza. My husband had a similar, not forgotten experience of being encased in a cylinder with no arms or eye or mouth holes in order to be a leak for the Queen's Jubilee in the 70s. We resisted using these images for our wedding invitations only because our mothers, to this day, seem incapable of understanding our grudges on the subject. Well, that's it, you see. They did their best. You're underappreciating it. They didn't have to do it. Good though, isn't it? What is that? I don't know. Should we play a song? I think so. Millefleur. But we are talking Chrissy Hind. Outstanding in her field. So Anonymous says, I took my English bull terrier, Olive, for a low-tide wander on the beach in Hastings, and there were a few early morning swimmers, and unfortunately, Olive decided to go over to a swimmer's changing bag, grab both handles, and run off into the sea with it, completely drenching this poor woman's clothing. I mean, obviously, I apologise for my dog's terrible behaviour, but the deed is done, isn't it? You know, it's the setting down of all the food for that picnic. They've done the balloons and a few banners in the park. It's going to be a great day. Boom, straight through, legs it off with the chicken. There's nothing you can do, is there? Nothing you can do. Well done, though. For skating this evening, brags Kate of Sheffield, I've gone for a black watch tartan skirt with matching waistcoat. Neat. Are you doing a ruffled shirt and a purple beret? All right. Oh, that is... I'm expecting some fancy footwork. I'm overexcited because I just went down my handbag and I found myself a strawberry chuppa chuppa, and I've got to be honest with you, a little bit thrilled. Larry Cribb is furious. Ray Charles, you lucky people. My partner Stephen and I were due to be having spag bowl for dinner this evening, says Graham of Roydon. Instead, we're having to dash 20 miles to the out-of-hours vet because we've found a hedgehog impaled on a thorn in the garden. I mean, we thought Mr. Hedgeford was just having a snooze because we aren't nurses and we didn't realise. Hopefully she can make a full recovery. I think we'll all be rooting for that hedge. I love a hedgehog. Not as much as a badger, obviously, but I love life. It's a world running on love if only we'd let it. Tell us the truth! Oh, do you see it trying to come through? I was talking to a few, brackets, much younger colleagues about a forthcoming work trip to Blackpool, says Sue in Barnet. Talked about the Blackpool. I've just said Blackpool and now my whole face can't even remember I've said it. Blackpool, Tower and Ballroom, brackets, off strictly, obvs. You could see the look of pure bewilderment when I started to talk about the need to wear a Kiss Me Quick hat. And the more I tried to explain what they were, the more ridiculous it sounded. Yeah, that's what I'm after. It's that moment where you just think, oh, I wish I hadn't started this. Normally happens to me about 7 minutes past 6. I say it. I don't mean it, so I'm having a laugh with you. Anyway, they were like puppies, Liza, tilting their heads trying to work out something new. Or whether I'd actually lost it. No, you wouldn't. Come on. Can you still get those hats? Yeah, of course you can. The place is awash with hen nights. What's the boys' stag nights? I nearly said something else then. Slow-cooked barbecue ribs with dirty fries tonight, and I'm not even a nurse. Love to everyone. Sue, slow-cooked barbecue ribs. Ooh. Mind you, I do quite fancy something with rice in it because I saw my fabulous sister eating, and it made a really nice sound. She'd put some kedgeree in the fridge in one of the in Tupperware, and she was necking it on a FaceTime call to me this morning. I thought, oh, I could go a bit of that. Something tasty. It's not too much to ask. Hi, Liza. Regarding personal standards après lockdown, I've let my chin hair go a bit since lockdown. This is Lindsay of West Sussex. Prawn and courgette linguine for tea with a glass of Cremant. Delicious indeed. Love to everyone. Yeah, I see Rylan looking at me a bit hard sometimes. I think, yeah, probably got Dennis Healy monobrow and I haven't noticed. She's showing her age reference. My parents, Anne and Adrian of Maidenhead. We know them. They were barbecuing duck breasts in the garden the other day, and lo and behold, a red kite swooped down and made off with half their dinner. Yeah, that'll teach them. Too many choices is a kind of prison, as Anne keeps saying to Adrian. I hope it wasn't. Well, it would have been hot, but if one of them swooped, I'd get out of the way. It'd be like giving a wild dog half a sweet digestive. So we were looking at, we have been looking at moments within a speech or sentence you make that gives your age away. Social referencing, actually. I just made it sound a little schmancy. Text errors, misused words, celebrity dreams. We've got a couple of them. Are they good enough? I don't know. Shouldn't have come around rather. Mohos and caravans. There must be some. Do you know what? Things dropping out of nowhere is a perfect thing for me. And there is a good one there. I should do that. I'm sort of thinking and speaking. That's what I learned to do. Also, remember to put your name on the text, por favor. There's been a lot of you just texting a mate, which is all very well and good, but I'd quite like to name check Lisa Clark in Streatham, trotting round to champion of the Wonder Horse. Yeah! The time is, of course, fast approaching to name the show in 6 words or less, so there's quite a lot for you to think about. Liza says, Catherine of Cumbria. Catherine du Cumbria. My best fancy dress cosy was when I went to a party in a pair of beige pyjamas and a red balaclava. I was matchstick. Smokey Robinson had heard, that song is based on the Pagliacci opera, Tears of a Clown, going on, performing even though he's crying inside. So Stevie Wonder came up with some of the music for the song with the help of the Motown producer Hank Cosby on his own. And final touches, down to Smokey. Down to El Smokey. Sometimes I think you want to hear that stuff, but I'm not sure. Just saying. Evening, everybody. Can I get an insert noisy dog sound here? Pussy! Pussy! Woo! So I'm dog sitting tonight, Liza, pulling in an all-nighter for 2 adorable rescue lurchers, One-Eyed Percy and the lovely Lily. They're gorgeous. They're lazy, though. That's hounds. They have a run and they just lie down in a great big old circle. I mean, unless they're on Fox Watch. In which case, a whole other story. Or unless they find a fresh area in the bed you've made up for guests. Yeah, just change the bed in and make it look absolutely beautiful and pull out that bedspread and then go and hide a big old marrow bone somewhere in it before your guest puts their feet through your sheets with his sharp, razor-like talons on his feet. It's been a hell of a week and I'm not bitter. But I am not even a nurse. Anyway, Sonia, they are not lazy, they are hounds. She's brought snacks, she's got a crochet, and she's got full ownership of the TV remote. And if you need her, she's in Battledown at Cheltenham tonight. But, you know, it's just like a 25-hour thing. I got YouTube up and put a section of dogs howling and got old Shifty Hole on my knee. Watched it. Yeah, it wasn't long before we were both having a good old howl. Although it did become intriguing to me as to what was being said. So I just can't rein it in, can I? Oh, the Everly brothers. You can't fight Phil Everly when he's on a roll, can you? And you don't want to either. Helen says she's having aubergine parmigiano tonight, which sounds good, doesn't it? With a few IKEA meatballs left over in the freezer, hidden in the tomato sauce. Oh, had you just done... Oh, I see what you mean. You just stuck them in the... God, just the way my mind works. It's a kaleidoscope plus extra mirrors. Evening, everyone. We're sat in the delightful Moho cooking a salmon, garlic and rice dish whilst longingly looking at a fresh pizza vendor who's only just turned up with us at Finchdale Abbey. Go over and batter him. Why didn't you say? And I've saved the fish for tomorrow. This is Joanna and Albus, presumably Dumbledore. They'll be drinking gin quite heavily later. Just had to share this with the gang under the heading of getting sayings wrong. Circa 1976, my lovely dad, Murray, was relishing the 19th hole with his chums after another Saturday spent on the golf course. Welcome to my world. He was waxing lyrical over a recent family holiday in the south of France, and he added, of course, we always like to take the car over on the cross flannel cherry. Oh! Still makes me giggle to this day. This is Emma. On another note, do you know you were pondering on the flavour of our skating melody themed to a summer place? I was, because I'm interested in transmutation / transposition. We decided that the skating song would be Crème Anglaise at the exact moment that you blurted out custard. Love to everybody. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous, isn't it? We're just going to all meld into... I keep on thinking about mercury. We're all tiny little blobs of mercury making a most wonderful flat Petri dish when we all link together. See how powerful we are? I always think of that, that I got a gal in Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo lends itself to baba ganoush and all manner of... I can't remember what the word is for different sections of a word. What is the word for different sections of a word? I'm a Shakespearean actress. Syllables, that's the word I was after. Syllabubs. Thanks very much, Nigel. Caroline's in Basingstoke. She said, I once had an empty tin of tuna drop down my chimney into the fireplace. You see, just noise-wise, that would, if you were sat on your own, also potentially quite messy. I blamed it on the delinquent gang of jackdaws. Oh, here we go. A delinquent gang of jackdaws roaming the area and terrorising the neighbourhood, actually, Liza. And I had a chicken drumstick bone drop down the same chimney a few weeks later. Well, it definitely was them. I mean, I'm not finger-pointing. It was them. Evening, everyone. I had a lovely dream this week in which Eddie Izzard came round for a Barbie. We were having a lot of laughs, and then I noticed it was getting late, and I announced in horror to Eddie, it's 11:20 on a school night. Love to everyone, says Catherine of Bristol. Yeah. I was at a party with him once. I really annoyed him. He doesn't like me anymore. I'm really trying to hook him up with one of the girls from Bananarama. Didn't like that, though. He didn't like being interrupted, to be fair, but I was short on time. I needed to move on. My mother once entered me in a fancy dress competition as a famous moustached snooker player. Unfortunately, she used a permanent marker, and I was the only girl in primary school with a full moustache the following week. Bet you weren't. This is Anne-Marie, who's batch cooking in Ireland. Bon chance, everybody. Oh, look at him, he's bagging it up. Stop that, Chet Faker. Just a quick line to let you know that I'm unable to use the extractor above the cooker. This is Hazel. Just note to everyone, if you are going round, don't be tempted to bung the extractor on. A pair of starlings have made it their home, and tonight I can hear the chicks tweeting. Oh. Quite how they've managed to navigate the Louvre extractor cover remains a mystery, yeah. And yeah, I am a nurse of 36 years. Love to everyone. Yeah. I'm not just a nurse. What is it when they hang meat up? When you age meat in a beautiful way? Well, I suppose you lay it down. They've laid Hazel down for 36 years. I don't think that sounds right, does it? Or indeed hanging her up. Certainly set my mind racing there. Dolly and Kenny, the hedgehogs, are back in the garden. That's the big news in Hawkhurst from Helen. They're eating dog food and mealworms. Can it get better than that? No, it can't. Just great. And I need to mention Paul because he's working very, very hard today. He's been filling holes with foam filler. They're in France, him and Angela, and she's got him in a nice bit of steak and opened a lovely bottle of red just to show her gratitude and stop him moaning, because blimey, when Paul starts, it can turn you grey. I mean, he doesn't look like trouble, but trust me. 1968, the Hollies. I was listening to Lily the Pink, which is quite a long song, but I was listening to seeing if I could crowbar it in a list. And of course it mentions Jennifer Eccles in there. And then what I didn't realise is that Graham Nash contributed to the backing vocals on that track, which is quite nice. I think it was a year or so before he cleared off to America and Laurel Canyon, which of course is another story entirely. Yes. So, Embarrassed of Manchester (brackets Helen). This week I've mainly been apologising for my dog Wilson. Yeah, the one from Walton Park, Sale. We were walking down the local canal towpath when he doubled back, ran off down the canal and stole some fella's southern fried chicken. Honey? Just what is it about chicken? Lisa says, during some sales training this week, I referred to a Colombo close. And only then did I realise that no one knew what the hell I was talking about. I felt very old. Yeah. It's that pre-lockdown for me. There's a whole generation who couldn't give a monkey's what I think or anything. But you see, there's something gold in that invisibility, isn't there? They're so happy to see each other, the youth. And I don't blame them 1 minute, but this is our chance to get away with stuff. Stop squashing eccentrics! I won't have it! So it is that time again. Name the show in 6 words or less. If you haven't checked out our page on the BBC Sounds, and God knows you'll beg to with every trail, make sure you do this weekend because it looks unique. And you know why? Because your diligent work is frankly the talk of Radio 2. We stand out. Why do we stand out? Because of you. Because of you. We're a special mob. And we have become one of the most downloaded shows on the whole of Radio 2 ever. Don't check that. Don't go fact-checking that. Because pretty soon someone is going to ring me from the, I don't know where, from the Bahamas and tell me I'm wrong. Champagne soaked at the bottom of the podium this week has been the legend that is Susan Lamming, who submitted Brown Rice Don't Sweeten Coffee. So if you were listening last week, you might remember that. There was, very funny incident. And you're not wrong, Susan, but who's coming for Susan's crown? 6 words max. Be specific to today's episode, por favor. And we know what the show is about generally, but why would this one stand out? You know? Something that's cool. I don't know. Shh. Don't say that out loud. I know I've opened the book a little wide. Sorry, Dad. So we want someone who's passed. We want the passing trade to think, what the heck is that? And then have to listen. Do they have to download it? Do people have to download? I don't think they do they? I don't think I've ever downloaded anything. Yeah, you can listen on Wi-Fi if you like. Keep it clean because we're being watched all the time and I can't say any more about that, but is it safe? And if you're listening on catch-up, do still get involved because the lines are open until Monday afternoon-ish, which is when the BBC Sounds department rock in, having had a splendidly splashy weekend. I often say on Zoom meetings, introduce yourself, what's your names, and where'd you come from? Channeling Blind Date Scylla, obviously. Lots of blank looks from the younger folk. Scale of Liverpool, a.k.a. the motherland. The motherland. Hey, don't be bloomin' feeding hedgehogs dog food and mealworms, you idiot, or we'll get 500 complaints. I mean, of course, dog food's fine, but it's the mealworm end. They are strictly robin fodder. Don't be doing that, because I don't want to be at the tough end of some rogue dog Sam here. Now, normally I ask about road dogs, but Sam's turned it around into a rogue dog. Maybe like the mad dog that had the half of sugary digestive, a rogue dog. He's bouncing in the back of our 1964 Morris Minor with gorgeous Ashley driving. Brackets, a little bit lively, I've got to say, though. Yeah, OK. Well, actually, the suspension in a 64 Morris Minor isn't what... well, it isn't. And gorgeous Jack's in the front passenger seat, so he is strictly the road dog. This is Sam Gloucester. Sam of Gloucester. It's Sam Gloucester of Gloucester. He's heading home to Gloucester from the Severn Valley Railway in Kidderminster. He's had a cracking day. But all he wants is whatever's in the freezer and a beer. That's the blooming 7 bales knocked out of him in the back there. Where are we going? Oh, look at the time. It just makes me panicky. Otis Blackwell. Jimmy McCracklin.
Rosie, get on board.
We just sold our house down south, and tomorrow we're going to drive up to our beloved northeast to start our Jubilados dream. Good for you. This is Angie and Dave Futz from Rayleigh in Essex, but soon they won't be. Mega house hunting is on the horizon for the next week, and we're both very excited. I've got strong connections with the area, and my husband, born and bred Geordie, just wants to be near to Alan Shearer. Well, we can maybe steer you in the right direction. Alan's a big part of this show. Good luck with that, obviously. And it's a gentleman's excuse me for dinner tonight, Liza. Prawn pesto for him and scampi and a pitta for me. Lots of red, but love to everybody, which is super. Here are the Tangiers.
Don't try. Don't try.
Well, Lala Frizz, the chinchilla, as we like to call her, has actually said this is, frankly, the Tangiers, 1958. We've got a date on that track, but it is pretty blooming marvellous. But they are, despite a deep dive, pretty elusive. Sorry I can't help you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you very much for having us. Because you have. So, what have I got here? I've got nothing that I'm going to tell you other than we will see you next week. I hope in good spirits and fine fettle. My great thanks goes to the news, which has been delivered beautifully by the fabulous Nikki Cardwell, who puts up with me week after week. But don't worry, we are good pals, and she's a wonderful stitcher. Our studio manager has been Dr. Nigel Mindbender. He won't mind me calling you that. Obviously, Lala Frizz, thank you, and the moist talents of Mr. Frisky Crib. We'll be here. Just play this with you.
Just a little.
I am starving. It is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart trousers, and on 88291.
BBC News at 8 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell.
Pauline! What's that fella's name? What?